All right. Let's continue in the discussion about hobbies. In part one, I discussed the differences between what makes what you do a hobby and as opposed to what you do for work. The differences. I discussed that in part one. So if you missed that part, go back and please check that out. Let's get into part two here. And I ended part one with that question. Do we do or determine those differences between hobby and work based upon promotion, money, famousness, notoriety, pleasure, joy, and over that word called commitment? I was saying that maybe I'm like changing my own observation on the differences between hobby and work. Initially, I'd said hobby is what you do without any regard for money. Work, what you do, what you have to do to pay the bills. But I was saying also, I wonder if the hobbies committed to fully would permit me to work. And I was saying in part one, no. But I was thinking about, no. I was observing that maybe I should treat work as a hobby that pays and see my hobbies as work that doesn't pay. But seriously, I hadn't thought about that and to observe that new idea until midway in part one of this discussion. The question of what we do as hobby or work, as what drives us from within or from the outside, is another part of that inquiry. Does your hobby or work come from a desire to you or from outside of you? I'm saying that desire has to come from inside of you organically, originally. To count as a hobby that doesn't pay well, or to assess a hobby to do it that doesn't pay well, and to see work as a hobby that does pay you well. Both perspectives, these new perspectives for me, fall in the category that I outlined in the book, Resilience, the Beauty of Presence, about understanding what you enjoy doing and what you do well, as kind of like the parameters for what can lead you to determine what actually drives you. So I'm going to take a little time here to, even on this side of the microphone, to consider that. I mean, it's not a earth-shattering, rocket science new philosophy about seeing work as a hobby that pays you well and seeing hobby as work that doesn't pay you well. And maybe that's just the surface part. As I keep going a little further deeper into this, peeling that onion back, it doesn't matter how you define it, or more importantly, it doesn't matter how I define it for myself. If I enjoy doing something and I do it well, that should cover, as I say, the beachfront, the waterfront, about what you do in front of you. You have all the opportunity, but you should refine or define, again, in another question to yourself, what does drive you on that waterfront? You want to conquer the entire world there? Okay, that's an optimistic ambition. But again, my simple questions for myself that I'm sharing with you in the book itself about take the time to even literally pencil to paper, one column, determine what you enjoy doing. It could be from tiddlywinks to knitting, baseball, football, basketball, rocket science, nuclear science, physics stuff, baking. It could be anything. But maybe those things are not necessarily in sequence and connected linearly. But I'm asking you to take that time to even just write down. If you must, type it in your phone or on your notes application. But capture, document, what do you enjoy doing? It could be a long laundry list of things just tickles your fancy. But then the next column should be what of those things you like doing that give you pleasure. Almost like that second column now is the column of joy, meaning what do you do well? Like for me, I'll give you an example. I enjoy the analysis part of solving a problem, or at least coming with an approach to resolving a problem. As I said before, in every episode, and even in the book itself, I don't really offer you any answers. I don't position myself to say, I have the answer for you. No, usually I provide more questions. But the caveat, though, with that questioning approach is not just to avoid providing an answer that I could be held liable for. No, it's to guide you to the other statement I made in one of my key episodes, which was those questions, once you have decided to address that question about what drives you, that's the one topical question, the one essential critical question in the book itself. But I want you to then take the time to formulate those your own genuine, original, positive questions for yourselves. Those questions, even though it seems silly to ask a question without expecting an answer, that's exactly what I'm trying to get you to consider. The questions themselves, formed organically, genuinely, sincerely, and replete with curiosity, will contain the answers that you are seeking. Not A question, B answer. No. You may not see or sense or receive, in terms of grace, the answer until, say, step X or step W from the question at step A. But please consider that approach, that forming those kind of questions will get you to resolving questions like this. What's a hobby? What's work? I'm asking you to apply whatever the answer is as you define what falls in the hobby or work category. It doesn't matter. It really shouldn't matter about money. It matters about how current you are in applying your presence to become even more and more productive in delivering your message, your purpose, and your wisdom in this world. Thank you once again. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, it's always 820.